Hey guys, what's up? It's Squill here. Just want to go over trade review for today, Friday, February 3rd, 2022. What a great start to February it's been. Um, really nice moves to be found in the market, and um, prices just been really easy recently to read. Uh, First, we're going to go over ES, which was the second trade I took today. And then after that, we'll go over Tesla, which was the first trade I took. So, um, key levels to note here, this 41.94 and this fair value gap created here at 10.16. So, if we zoom out a little bit to yesterday's price action, we can see this 40.94 level proved as resistance multiple times. We don't really ever have a candle close above it until here. All these times it wicked into it and got rejected back down. And then also in after hours, Granite earnings was going on, but um, price levels still remain valid. So that's why I had 41.94 on the chart. Obviously, I had more levels than just this, but I didn't want it to be too hectic of what we were looking at. So, obviously, 41.94, I was saying it all day in Discord, resistance spot. Last thing we're going to note here is this, oops, this fair value gap right here. In between this candle's wicks low and this candle wicks high. Um, so really, we saw this rejection. You can't know right off the bat that this is going to be the top. It's just a guess if you guess it correctly. But you see that we flush through, create this fair value gap, retest back into it, which is right about 50% of the range. So your entry can either be right here when you first enter the range, 50% of the range, or at the top of the range. Enter at the 50%, which we never really even got to, but as soon as I started to see these wicks forming, I hopped in, and the trade was never read the whole time I was in it. So I want you to see this fair value gap here. Like I mentioned, 1016 candle. That's going to be our target. Now, how do I get that as my target? So if we draw a fib from the 9:30 open to the day's high of like where the rejection is so far, you can see our 50% level is right here. So we ideally want to see the market go from above this 50% level to below this 50% level. However, that's a 30 handle move to get down to this fair value gap here, which really is not realistic a lot of the time. Could it have definitely gone down there? Absolutely. Um, but I would rather not take my chances and take my 20 handles or so. Uh, that's still a pretty good trade. So, like I said, enter here, targeting this fair value gap. Um, Possible spots where we could bounce along the way, right here. I'll just mark all the spots that buyers have shown their presence, right there, and right here. That's all the spots that I'd be looking for us to bounce, which I hadn't had these lines drawn, but we just happened to bounce right there. But and while I was in the trade, to me, that was just a retest of this fair value gap. Let me get this off here. This fair value gap between this candle and this candle retest 50% of the range, continue down lower. So if price is underneath it, it acts as supply. If price is above it, obviously it acts as demand. So that was a good trade on ES there. Um, really nice to see. We definitely could have got this leg down some more, but what we had to do, you notice this fair value gap right here between these candles, right at the top of this zone, we would have had to reject this and continued back down. However, we got above it, came back, tested it, and continued on up, eventually rejecting the same zone as we entered on, which would have honestly been a really nice play because now you can see this time it does in fact get down to this lower fair value gap, fills it all the way, and even goes down to this 41.5275, which if we look back was the low from the overnight session. Um, and below that level that we have is the uh, low from pre-market. So obviously we're not there yet, but pretty much you enter a trade up here, you're not going to be right at all the whole way down. Probably take profits here at this fair value gap, going from the top side of this 50% range to the bottom side of this 50% range. So, like I said, really, really nice trade there on ES today. That was my second trade. First trade was Tesla. Back-to-back days, having really, really, really nice trades on Tesla. And we'll zoom in here and break it down. So, throw the EMAs on. Perfect. We entered Tesla calls here. Why? Because this is bull flag. Obviously, we were in stages. Keanu was putting this in our ears, but it really is a textbook bull flag. Obviously, the candles aren't like perfect and congruency, but we bull flagged back to the 9 EMA after this pop. I entered calls somewhere around here. I know Keanu literally got in on this one red candle, but I entered somewhere up here when we were close to the 9, and instantly just shot through the roof. Obviously, I didn't hold it the whole way up. My contracts went 154 to 193, I believe. And then I ended up selling runners at 250. So really, really nice trade there. And that was all within like this 5-minute candle. It just went absolutely ballistic. Picked up 200 calls for today. I really thought that we were going to get there, but we found this rejection up here. Obviously, top wick there. Doji symbols indecisiveness right at the same level. Couldn't make higher highs. And as a result, we ended up flushing down, kind of consolidating, waiting for the market, and eventually we flushed. So I know that Discord guys caught a really nice gain this afternoon on Tesla as well. But yeah, I've been just chilling. Had a pretty nice day. So SPY, it's going to be pretty much the same breakdown as ES. I guess kind of first thing that catches my eye here, I'm just going to use the box because it's easiest. We have shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, and really this is going to be one of those cases where it's like a diagonal neckline, I feel like. Gosh, something like that. Now obviously you're probably not going to short it when it gets to ear, but just as easily you can come back and say that that was just a impulse sell. If we throw on volume here, you could definitely claim that this is an impulse sell. There's no volume on these two candles at all. Still decreasing volume. That's an impulse sell. So technically, to me, that head and shoulders is still valid there. And you can short once we get under this line, which the whole rest of the day is played out fine. Possible pattern coming into the close here. Obviously not going to break today. Kind of just like a channel thing, I guess. It's not really a wedge. But yeah, that's kind of what you see with SPY there. But much like, I mean, we didn't close a single candle the whole morning under the 9 EMA. Like, it was calls all day long. Found that 41.94 rejection up here. Got under the 9.21 for the first time. Got right back above it. Stalled out here at this right shoulder. and proceeded to fall below it, below the 200, which we did happen to catch a little bounce at, but we fell below it, and now I've just been riding the 921 down all afternoon. So, like I said, really pretty easy price action to read. Um, there really hasn't been much challenge behind it the past couple of days. So yeah, that's what I've got. Hopefully you guys enjoy your weekend. And yeah, we'll see you next time.